in Murshidabad, Indian soil, in Bengal, close to the border of Bangladesh. Yes, this man in the middle of your screens, viewers, who works for Mamata Banerjee, is a legislator in Mamata Banerjee's party, is part and parcel of the state government administration in a sense, viewers, given the fact that he's an office bearer on oath, wants to construct the Babri Masjid on Indian soil. Posters have suddenly been pasted across the district of Murshidabad. Announcements are being made for mobilization, all pointing to a deliberate attempt to rake up one of India's most sensitive wounds. Viewers, 500 years ago, and we've barely found closure. 500 years ago, viewers, by all available records and indications, the Babri Masjid was built on the site of a desecration of a temple dedicated to Lord Ram, which had been erected eons back to mark his birthplace. Viewers, this man believes that the Babri Masjid should be made again, a symbol of bigotry, of supremacism, of cultural vandalism, must be put together in Bengal. Listen first, viewers, to the combative resolutions of TMC MLA Humayun Kabir. And remember, viewers, while you are listening to him, remember what he is campaigning for and who he is campaigning for. Jog your memory back. Who was Babur? What did he do in this country? What was his intention? First listen.
बाबरी मस्जिद का शिलान्यास होगी 6 दिसंबर। स्टेट का मेरा नेता सब लोग को संहति दिवस भी उद्यापन होगी। मैं यहाँ का बेलडंगा में एक बाबरी मस्जिद 3 साल के लिए काम चलेगी, इसीलिए उनका भित्ति स्थापन होगी। वो मुस्लिम लीडर लोग सब आएगी।
The question is simple. What exactly is being honored here? Who? History tells us Babur weaponized faith. His campaigns were framed as jihad. His armies rallied as soldiers of Islam. And his chronicles are filled with contempt for what he called, quote, accursed enemies of Islam, unquote. Viewers, Babur's forces often viewed their invasions of India through a religious lens, believing they were fighting a holy war against non-Muslims. These are annotated facts. Mentioned, viewers, in the Baburnaama, mentioned in other court documents. Viewers, the religious justification extended to specific acts of iconoclasm. Most famously, the alleged destruction of a temple at Ayodhya. And I'm only using the word alleged, viewers, because I am being mindful of propriety. I don't want to stir passions at this late date, specifically when the Supreme Court has ruled, and try to cauterize this wound, this civilizational insult, viewers. And also, let me tell you, I'm using my words carefully, because just yesterday we marked the culmination of the construction of the Ram Mandir, a victory, viewers, for civilizational justice. So I don't want to scratch like this man is doing at old wounds. In fact, viewers, the man he wants to honor, the man Humayun Kabir wants to honor, Babur, the Baburnaama suggests that Babur saw himself in the image of 2 other Islamic invaders, Mahmud of Ghazni and Muhammad of Ghor. You know who those individuals are, viewers. Do I need to tell you? Great desecrators of the Hindu tradition and Hindu civilization. One brought down one of India's most iconic temples. In the prelude to the Battle of Khanwa, Babur, in his own words, used phrases like Army of Islam, accursed enemies of Islam, wretched Hindus. How do we know all this, viewers? Because it has been documented meticulously in a book published by Penguin recently, viewers, called Babur, the Chessboard King, by Abbas Maladhyar. Yet today, a sitting MLA of a ruling party in this country, in Bengal, chooses that legacy as inspiration. It's not surprising that the BJP is lashing out at Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, TMC and other opposition cohorts like the so-called secular parties that are the Congress and the left for keeping quiet. Viewers, the BJP says TMC is endangering secularism. Those harboring such dreams have no love for secularism. 5 acres of land were allocated for the construction of a mosque by the Supreme Court, no less. They won't build that, but they want to build a Babri masjid. This proves that TMC and other opposition have struck a compromise with fundamentalist forces. They say secularism is in danger. No, India's future is in danger because of this pseudo-secularism, unquote. This is Sudhanshu Trivedi, BJP Member of Parliament today, viewers, made this remark. Is this merely appeasement politics, or is this a deeper attempt at revisionism? Is it an ideological flex with the very forces that have long sought to divide India? Let's open this up, viewers. Let's ask some fundamental questions. Let me begin with Tausif Ahmed Khan, noted advocate, someone who speaks up for the TMC in Bengal. Now, sir, for which community in this country can Babur suddenly become an inspiration to build a mosque for him, for a man whose bigotry was loosely adorning his sword arm? Why would you do that?
No, Rahul, you see, these are very scholarly academic debate, which we are trying to do through this TV channel. You see,
so you want me to be what? A mad, ranting lunatic like some of the members of your party that want to eulogize Babur? For God's sake, sir. Or do you want me to now also join hands with you and say, let's also build a... hang on. A big black marble mausoleum to Aurangzeb also while we are at it.
Rahul, for the time being, just allow me to speak.
No, but you can't accuse me of being sensible and use it. And use it. And use it. No, hang on. And use it as something to taunt me with. I am being sensible and restrained. No, hang on. Tausif Khan, because, sir, someone needs to be sensible on this debate. Because you clearly are not. You're out of your senses.
You are touching upon a field of which you have zero knowledge.
Oh, really? I think. I see.
Yes, because you said, why should we dedicate a mosque to Baba? You see, a mosque is never built for any prophet or god. There's no concept of various gods like it is in other religion. You see, like we can have so many temples dedicated to a particular god or goddess. But in Islam, the concept is nothing like you are trying to imagine, or you are trying to tell your viewers, as if this mosque is being built in honor of or for Babur.
Sir,
that's
what else?
Please,
then why don't you just build any old masjid? Why is it called the Babri Masjid?
Now, yes.
Oh, come on.
Coming to that question.
What are you trying to say?
Now you're saying
Tausif Khan, what are you trying to say tonight? That this is some coincidental naming. I mean, you can build a mosque anywhere in this country. No, one second. Sir, please. The photograph is of the Babri Masjid, a construction sanctioned by Babur's generals to prove a point to Hindus after an invasion that was, that had a religious... One second, sir, let me finish. I am reading too much into it.
Proper knowledge of the religion of Islam.
Am I reading too much into it?
Interpreting in your own way and trying to scare the people of India.
And when are they making it, viewers? On December 6th? When are they making it on December 6th? You see, viewers...
After the construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya, the Mandir Masjid chapter is over.
Yeah.
Why do you want to take India back?
I am taking back.
Yes.
The
Yes,
posters,
by
viewers,
reading too
the
much into
posters
it
on your screens,
in a
the soundbite. One minute,
democratic
one minute, one minute,
India.
one minute, one minute,
No,
one
please.
minute, one minute, one
This
minute,
is
one
your
minute.
channel only. You will
Mr.
continue to
Khan,
speak. Allow me to
maybe, Mr. Khan, you are so blinded by your own sense of denial that you are not seeing the visuals or hearing, sir, your own MLA. At least one person in your party today has gotten up and said that these were very bad words. At least that person is not
So
deluded,
you are
sir.
happy. At least you admit. Now you admit that Trinamool party has
No, no,
got
no, no, no,
nothing
no,
to
no.
do
One second.
with this
Sack him.
MLA
Sack him.
Humayun
Why is he an
Kabir.
MLA? Why is he taking
Now,
oath? No, no, you can't have it both
you
ways.
can object
No,
to
no,
his
just a
name.
minute.
His
Just a
name
minute.
himself is Humayun.
Tausif Khan,
The
listen.
son
You
of
can't
Babur.
change the goalposts with me that easily. Sorry, I come very prepared. I have
No,
exposed
no, you have
viewers
not
the
come
mindset.
prepared. You
No, no,
must
one second, one
read
second. I have.
the
Okay,
religion,
just calm
the
down.
religious text
Calm
first.
down, calm down,
First
calm
of all,
down. Calm
you
down.
started by
Calm
saying
down, sir.
you started
Why
by
don't
saying
you
that
call
the
this?
mosque
No, no.
is
Why
built
don't
in
you
honor
call
of
this
Babur.
just an
In
ordinary?
Islam,
Okay,
no
okay.
mosque is built in honor of anybody.
Right.
Mosque is for the omnipresent,
Right.
unseen God
Right.
called Allah,
Sir, great.
which does not have any
Great.
idol.
Great.
Every mosque
Why
is
is
for
it called the
worshipping
Babri
Allah.
Masjid?
It is not for
Why is
any
it
idol
called the
worshipping
Babri
or
Masjid?
in honor of any
Why is it
particular
called the
believing
Babri
person.
Masjid? Why is
Even
it called the
Prophet
Babri
Muhammad, he did
Masjid?
not worship Prophet
Why is it
Muhammad
called the Babri
inside the
Masjid?
mosque. First, you
Okay.
have to get the basics
Okay,
correct.
so viewers,
You have to
if that
get
is
the
the
basics
case,
correct.
one second, if that is the case, why for 150 years were these people opposing the removal of this mosque from the Ram Janam Bhoomi, if it is just a bunch of bricks, as they call them, where you actually summon the greater powers and just pray, then you could have removed it. What was so sacred about the Babri Masjid then? Viewers, you see, these people, Tausif Khan and company, are too clever by half. If it is just another brick and mortar building, then why for 150
You are
years,
too
viewers,
knowledgeable
were they
by
thwarting
half.
Hindus who
You have
wanted
a
their
very
place of
limited
worship
knowledge.
back? Could they
Your
not have just
domain
moved it?
knowledge
Could they not
is
have moved
very
it to another
limited.
spot? Could they not have dismantled it
You are
themselves?
saying a
Viewers,
mosque
these
is
are the
being
questions
built
that
in
were
honor
asked
of
of them.
Baba,
Now, you
which
know
is
what, viewers?
absolutely false
Okay, now,
and
Mr.
incorrect.
Khan, now you know what's going to happen? I'll tell you what, viewers, they'll start playing victim and
You
they'll
must
accuse me,
agree- you must agree
one
to
second,
disagree.
they'll accuse me of being somebody who is trying to incite passions, and therefore I must therefore.
I'm saying you're reading too much into it.
I must therefore pay the price, which you know, viewers, will be a fatwa. That's what he's going to try to do next, because he lost all
You
three
are not
arguments.
that
Let me bring in
important,
Doctor.
Rahul.
Let me bring in
You are
Doctor
not
Ranganathan.
that important.
Let me bring in
There is
Doctor
not going to
Ranganathan.
be any
Doctor
fatwa
Ranganathan,
of
is this
you.
an accident?
I assure you,
Okay, calm down.
there's not
Fine,
going
sir.
to be
Thank
any
you, sir.
fatwa
Thank
of
you,
You're
thank
not
you,
that
thank you. Why don't
important.
you tell some of your friends on social media that? Because every day I get about 20 threats. Anyhow, Dr. Ranganathan, let me just ask you a question.
No one should give
and
any
it's a
threat to
simple
Rahul.
question. Okay.
I am requesting
One minute.
through your channel. I'm requesting, please do not give any threat to Rahul. He's not that important.
Great.
No fatwa, no nothing.
Can I come back to the subject?
The
Can I
temple
come back
and
to the
mosque chapter is over,
Okay.
long over.
Can I come back to the subject?
BJP has nothing
Dr.
else to talk
Ranganathan.
about.
Okay, I'm going to
Therefore,
count till
BJP
3,
is
Mr. Khan.
dragging
1, 2,
India
3.
behind.
Lower his fader. Yes. Dr. Ranganathan, explain. Why should a mosque be called the Babri Masjid? And why is its foundation stone going to be laid on the 6th of December if the entire so-called affair is a closed chapter, as Mr. Khan is suggesting here on national television?
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I think you're right in one sense, and we've discussed this away from the debates. You know, one must read Naipaul to understand, especially his two books, Among the Believers and Beyond Belief, that the converted peoples, it's a bit like, they're more Catholic than the Pope. So for someone whose grandfather was a Hindu, the abject Hindu hatred that is being shown out here by the previous panelists is just not befuddling, but there is a reason for that. Anyhow, the fact of the matter is, let them, people like Tausif, do whatever they want. Let them. It's a free country. And the question to be asked is, why should they trod upon the human rights and other rights of other people? That is when the problem comes. They want to make a Babri Masjid, let them. The problem is not making a Babri Masjid or a mausoleum or whatever for a barbarian or eulogizing Tipu. No. The problem is they are doing it at the cost of Hindus and Hindu rights, at the cost of Hindu temples, and that is the problem. I don't blame them. I blame us. Because tell me, Rahul, Is there a Hitler road in Tel Aviv? Then why for 70 years was there an Aurangzeb road in Delhi? Why there still is? Stones throw away from the Prime Minister's house, a Babur road in Delhi. And have you ever wondered, Indian Christians never eulogize barbarian mass murders like General Dyer and don't protest when truth is told about the evil British Empire. But why do Indian Muslims eulogize barbarian mass murders like Babur and Aurangzeb? Why do they protest when the truth is told about the Mughal Empire? That is the question that must be asked, but not answered. Not answered, Rahul, because that would make people in this country uncomfortable. Because the fact is, our textbooks must tell the truth about Mughal barbarians, not to illuminate Muslims, no, but to illuminate Hindus. Nations weaken not because of their past, but rather by how they are taught it. And for 75 years, we've been taught to forget historical injustices, to eulogize genocidal mass murderers. And so India is a nation that glorifies self-loathing and self-flagellation in equal measure. So you have Nehru asserting that, quote, Babur was one of the most cultured and delightful persons one could meet. He was a gallant knight. There was no sectarianism in Babur, no religious bigotry. This is from Nehru's own book called Glimpses of World History. This, despite Babur saying it himself, that in Baburnama, quote, I was a wanderer for the sake of Islam and battled infidels and Hindus, determined to become a martyr. But thanks be to Allah, I became a Ghazi. This despite Guru Nanak in Guru Granth Sahib mocking God, saying, quote, you take no blame in sending Babur as a messenger of death. Do you not feel any pity, O Lord, seeing so much slaughter and pain, unquote? Rahul, this is a nation where people still go and pray at the grave of Aurangzeb, who imposed tax only on non-Muslims, beheaded Guru Tegh Bahadur, entombed Sahibzadas alive, decapitated Sambhaji Maharaj, demolished Kashi Vishwanath and murdered 4.6 million Hindus. Aurangzeb and Babur were Baghdadi and Bin Laden 350 years before ISIS and Al-Qaeda. There is no difference between Babur apologists and Holocaust deniers. Twisted minds in need of serious medical intervention. But it is not the fault of these demented brainwashed zombies. It is our fault. It is the fault of our textbook. It is the fault when you
Anand has no source.
Now, 1 second, you have this jihad
Manufactured
loving person
history.
again interrupting. Rahul, can you please turn his fader off? Because I want to end by saying this fact. That Babur's tomb was visited by Nehru in 1959, Indira in 1968, Rajiv in 1976, Rahul in 2005. But none of them ever visited Ram Janmasthan. None.
Well, viewers, look. You can bring out the Britannica Encyclopedia and quote out of it. And these people will say it's all false. Because, viewers, Tausif Khan only believes in the written word of one book. So they don't really care about anything.
That is constitution.
That they really don't. I hope so. I hope so, sir. Because this is certainly
And
not
you
constitutional.
don't believe in it.
This is certainly not constitutional, viewers.
RSS
Lower
did
his
not-
favor. Lower his
Shakas
fader,
did
please.
not-
Lower his fader, please. I'm not getting engaged with a tutu meme with somebody who doesn't quite have their senses about them, as he began by questioning why I'm speaking sensibly, he says. He wanted me to be irrational and crazy on the debate. Yes. So, Mr. Nikhil Jain, yes, what do you have to say for yourself? You've raised your hand. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Rahul, so I think the problem with reading a prepared speech from a teleprompter is sometimes you get too ahead of yourselves. The previous panelist, my very good friend Dr. Ranganathan, said for the previous panelist, Tausif Ahmed, that he had some visceral Hindu hatred. I was listening very patiently to both these gentlemen, and I did not hear Tausif say one word about the Hindu faith or the people who follow that faith. I don't know where Dr. Ranganathan gets that.
Don't get personal.
My friend, my friend, I'm not
Don't get
Dr.
personal.
Ranganathan, I'm not getting personal.
I'm lowering Nikhil Jain's fader because he's become a troll.
What?
He's become a professional troll. I told you some days ago,
No, what is
Nikhil
this?
Jain,
No, what is
that
this?
you
What
cannot
is this?
become
No.
a troll. You wanted to make
No,
an
Rahul,
intervention. Mr.
Rahul,
Tausif
I'm
Khan
making
can
an
speak for
intervention.
himself. If you want to be
Okay,
his
I'll go to the
advocate,
next
sir,
point.
you should tell me
I'll go to the
before
next point.
that I
I'll
will
go to
only
the
be
next
an
point.
advocate for ex-panelists.
I'll go to the next point.
I'm
I'll go
asking
to the
you
next
the point.
I'll go to the next point.
I've
Okay,
told
I'll
you
go to
many
the next
times, if you want to be on this show, sir, please, I request you once again, adhere to the rules of the debate. Other people can defend themselves. I didn't hear you defending me right now when Mr. Whatever his name is, Mr. Khan, came out and made some very incendiary comments. You didn't. So don't be selective in your outrage. If you want to go down that route, find another channel, waste somebody else's time.
Rahul,
I'm counting you down and I want you
can
to
I?
respond to the
No, but
discussion
can
at
I-
hand.
can I-
So I'm coming
can
right
I-
back into it. Remember this.
Can I
The
please
next time you
respond on
come
the
on this
topic?
channel,
Can I please respond on the topic?
please be on topic. If you're not, I'm going to silence you. I'm not interested in all of this. I'm not interested in all of this.
I'm on topic if you
Yeah,
allow
so
me.
get on topic.
All right. I'm on topic if you
I'm
allow
asking
me.
you a question
So-
then. No, let me ask you because
Please do.
clearly I can't trust you with your own thoughts. So let me ask you a direct question. Let me ask you, Mr. Jain, should the Babri Masjid replica be constructed in the name of Babri Masjid in Murshidabad? Yes or no?
I don't support it, but anybody is free to do whatever they want. This is a free country. If somebody is stupid, very well, let them do it. And as Tausif has already explained, that a masjid is not made for a person. The reason that particular structure was called the Babri Masjid is because, according to historic records, that structure was made during Babur's reign. Whether Babur commissioned it or not, that is also historically disputed. Be that as it may, the point is that is how the mosque took its name. Now, if some gentleman in 2025 wants to construct a mosque and call it the Babri Mosque or the Akbari Mosque or the Modi Mosque, that is very well his right to do. I don't think we should be,
so you don't think now
beating
look
our
at
heads about it.
no, one second,
We
Mr. Jain.
should
So
not be
you
beating
don't
our
think,
heads
and I'm
about
going to
it.
bring in the BJP national spokesperson. You
And
don't think?
Can I please?
Okay, there is no reference here to the original Babri Masjid. That's what you believe. This is just a happenstance. It is by some dint of coincidence. And then, viewers, he also said, if people are so stupid, then they can be stupid. That's what he said. Now, why is he so pejorative? What do you mean by stupid?
I'm just nonchalant about it. I don't care whether somebody is building a mosque in
Do you think Gyan
emperor from the
Vyapi should
past
be returned
name.
to Hindus? Do you think Gyan
What
Vyapi
sort of-
should be returned to Hindus?
No, what? That is for the courts to decide, Dr. Ranganathan. You can't, you and I, we can't have these rapid
Okay.
fire
no
rounds on
opinion.
television like this.
Just a
You
minute.
have no
Do-
opinion
do
on
you-
it.
The reason why
do you-
Mr.
do
Jain
you think
used
the
the
Prime Minister
adjective
should apologize
stupid
for
is because
2002?
he realizes that Babur is not somebody that you should be sitting up for and eulogizing
Certainly.
by construct. Certainly.
don't.
Certainly, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And can I please just
So then
complete
why
my
did
point
Rahul
before
Gandhi
you
go
debate
and visit?
further?
No, then why did
Yes.
Rahul Gandhi go and visit Babur's tomb? Why did Nehru
Why?
and Indira Gandhi do it all?
Let me tell you.
No,
Let me tell
Kyuji,
you. So,
if they are not people who
Okay.
are worthy, and why do you take offense then to one Sadhvi who said Babur ki aulad?
Very
If
true.
Babur
the
is such a
reason
nice
when-
person,
all right, let me answer that.
is
First
Babur
of
a
all,
good
Babur-
person?
I don't think he is, but that's
I
not
don't
the
think
point.
he
The
is.
point is when
But
somebody-
viewers, the entire Gandhi clan has gone there and paid
That's not
homage
correct, Rahul.
to
Rahul,
Babur.
you can't
Rahul,
keep on
you have
you
completely
can't keep on
trapped him.
interjecting. You can't keep on interjecting. Dr. Ranganathan, can I please can you let me have my say? So far as Nehru's visit to the tomb of Babur in Kabul is concerned, there are disputes as to whether that actually happened or not, because there is no specific time. Hold on, Dr. Ranganathan, I wasn't interjecting. If you would want me to interject every time you speak, I can extend that courtesy as well.
I'm not interjecting.
Can I be
I'll
allowed
just
to make
express
my,
surprise.
can I be allowed to make my point or not? Can I be allowed to make my point or not? Every time that I'm trying to speak, either I'm being interjected by you or by Rahul. So far as
I
Nehru's
can't
visit
even.
to
I can't have facial features expressing.
please do have your
surprise.
facial
I
features,
can't
but
even
please
do
stop
this.
interjecting verbally.
He didn't
Please do
interject,
that.
sir.
Please do
I
that.
didn't interject. I was doing
can I
this.
get with the point? Can I get with the point? So far as Nehru's visit to Babur's tomb is concerned, that is disputed. There is no specific time or place, no specific time or date that is given for this for the said visit. And if there is a need, please ask your PCR to play it. Number one. Number two. So far as having roads in Latin's Delhi on the names of Babur, Aurangzeb, this and that, whether they were bad or good, we can't forget the fact that these people did rule over the entire Indian empire. And that is how history is. Now, you might want to erase history. You might want to stick with it. You might want to embrace
Fair
it,
enough.
because
Let
so
me
far
bring
as
in
historic
Mr.
characters are
Fair
concerned,
enough, fair
they
enough.
will always have two sides
Viewers,
to them.
on Nehru, he says there is no specific evidence. On Indira and Rahul, of course, he's silent. They are more contemporary to us. Why did they go there? God alone knows. Maybe there was something calling them. God knows what it was. I want to bring in Siddharth Yadav of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Yeah, I'll come to you, Dr. Ranganathan, round you off. But let me just bring in
No,
Siddharth
actually,
Yadav.
please do show proof for that as well.
Yeah, we will.
Please do show proof for Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi's visit as well.
Siddharth Yadav. Yes. go
अरे
ahead.
भाई तुम निकालो प्रूफ हम क्यों निकाले भाई
You are the ones
Are-
claiming it.
No, 1 second. Siddharth Yadav.
Anand, no,
Yeah.
I have 3-4 points to make in this.
Yeah.
But before I make those points, I think this is the first time any Congress spokesperson is showing the audacity to even disputing facts which are well known to the country. A simple Google search will give you the reports, sir. Simple Google search. You don't need to do much. Just Google. You'll have the archive reports. You'll have the archive reports of Nehru visiting Baba's tomb. You'll have the archive reports of Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, of Rahul Gandhi.
Please send the links.
So you don't have to dispute it in 2025 thinking that सब लोग जितने लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं और जितने लोग देख रहे हैं वो सब लोग बेवकूफ हैं और आप सबसे समझदार हैं. ऐसा करना ठीक नहीं है. Point number 2. I think what has to be understood is the politics behind this. Why is it happening? Why are some political parties keeping mum? Why are some leaders, leashed out to say these things? Who was Babur? Why are people trying to do this? Why the date of 6th of December has been chosen? And this is the same politics which we have been seeing in this country from our independence, the same colonial mindset, the same politics of appeasement of the Congress party, wherein it is thought and it is well established that you can ridicule Hindus to any extent. You just have to appease one community and your politics will go on. That's the thought behind this. Or else, when you are saying on one hand that there can be no mosque behind a individual's name, then you should issue a fatwa. Why? How can there be a Babri mosque? But you want to, recreate the thoughts of Mir Baqi, the one who created this. Babur was a known barbaric. Babur destroyed temples, but Johar was conducted for Babur. He did jihad against Indian rulers. All of that kept aside, you want to compare that with Prabhu Shri Ram. You want to make those analogies. You want to draw those comparisons, and you want to ridicule the Hindus of this country. You want to tell them that probably you have struggled for 500 years. You finally waited for 500 years, and through a lawful way you got your result. The Ram temple was built, but we would come back. And we would do that historical wrong that happened. Right. And we would give you back that civilizational insult that happened. And we will do it again. And we'll do it on your face. And political parties like TMC and Congress party will keep mum. Because this is for their appeasement politics. Political parties like TMC will support this. Because that's what they do. If you have to do a Durga Puja in Bengal, you need a court's order. You can't do it yourself. Because in India, there are these political sets which believe एक धर्म विशेष को एक वर्ग विशेष को खुश करते रहिए, हमारी गाड़ी चलती रहेगी. This will not go on. I think this is high time. The people have already responded, and it's high time that these parties also understand.
Now, let me tell you, viewers, that this is a terrible, terrible provocation. It's a terrible provocation, and I just hope the so-called secular parties will rise up as one and condemn this. And there is video evidence of Nehru going to visit this Babur's tomb, viewers, and I can play it out for you.
Show that.
Here it is.
Harking back to the unprecedented floods which wrought such havoc at Kariba, our
Will
Portuguese
you
neighbours
apologize,
suffered
Nikhil?
even greater personal
Anyhow,
losses.
the point
Their
is,
towns and villages were
That was not
this
the
happened in
evidence.
1959. No, please, no, just 1 second, sir, please. Mr. Jain, you have been fact-checked several times on this channel.
Please
and
show
you
it
have
on
come
the VCR.
across, and you have come across.
Please show it on the VCR.
And you have come across.
Ask the VCR to
you have come
show it.
across looking silly, and somebody who might have even
Your
suffered.
Your viewers can see that you switched off the video in 10 seconds.
Who has suffered.
Your viewers can see that you switched off the video in 10
Oh
seconds.
my God, is he a child?
Hey, bhai,
Okay, chodo.
Look at this.
There you go.
Afghanistan, Nehru goes sightseeing in Kabul 1959. Play it, bhai. Can you play it?
Yeah,
know
well,
you
I don't
are
want to waste
Gen Z,
time
but-
because I have a very important debate to do on the
Yeah.
Constitution. Anyhow,
Nehru goes sightseeing
viewers,
in Kabul.
the point is, okay,
sightseeing
listen,
mein Babur
listen,
ka to-
listen, it's okay. Listen, my dear friend, you're very young. You need to read up a little bit before you show up for
I
these
did.
debates. It's okay. Just relax. You'll come up to speed in a couple of years. You'll be very well informed and measured. I'll leave it at that. Viewers, let's just move on. This is a serious provocation, and people need to stand up and condemn this because it is going to lead to problems, let me tell you. But viewers, today was a special day. India marked its 76th Constitution Day with the Prime Minister leading Parliament in hailing the Constitution as a sacred document that has guided the nation's progress. In a letter, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reminded every citizen of their constitutional duty. Prime Minister said action of, quote, ours should strengthen it and further national goals and interests, unquote. And then the Prime Minister went on to add, and I quote, It is our responsibility to fulfill the dreams envisioned by the framers of our Constitution. When we work with this sense of duty, our nation's social and economic progress will multiply manifold, unquote. As if to underline the point, the House paid a meaningful tribute by reading the preamble in unison. Listen, viewers, as we play out an excerpt.
हम भारत के लोग भारत को एक संपूर्ण प्रभुत्व संपन्न सामाजिक पंथनिरपेक्ष लोकतंत्रात्मक गणराज्य बनाने के लिए तथा उसके समस्त नागरिकों को सामाजिक, आर्थिक और राजनैतिक न्याय, विचार, अभिव्यक्ति, विश्वास, धर्म और उपासना की.
But the irony, viewers, is that the House read words of the preamble that weren't part of the Constitution originally. Our founders had adopted a very different looking and sounding preamble. Socialist and secular were inserted, in fact, by the 42nd Amendment. Viewers, and that happened during the emergency period in 1976. Yes, words socialist and secular were added much later. Sovereign Democratic Republic changed to Sovereign Socialist Secular Democratic Republic. Unity of the nation changed to Unity and Integrity of the Nation. Worse, the amendment itself was pushed through during an emergency later called unconstitutional by the Supreme Court when most of the opposition was jailed. The deeper irony, the Supreme Court continues to uphold an amendment passed in the absence of democratic dissent that it itself said came during an unconstitutional period in our history. History shows both Dr. Ambedkar and Prime Minister Nehru opposed inserting these very words in the preamble. Even viewers, Sardar Patel had a problem with it. Here is Dr. Ambedkar and his opposition to these words. He said the policy of the state must be decided by the people themselves. Cannot be laid down in the Constitution itself. This will destroy democracy altogether. So viewers, the Constitution only safeguards our democracy. If the Constitution itself, the preamble to which has been changed because of an act of illegal, unconstitutional desecration, then viewers, what is suffering? Democracy. The excesses the Congress has heaped upon the Constitution, however, did not stop the party from claiming today that India was laboring under an undeclared emergency under Modi's NDA, and these responses, viewers, came in response to the Prime Minister's letter to the nation. The remark led to a sharp reply from the BJP, which accused the Congress of hypocrisy. The tussle has, of course, brought the focus back on the basic question. For who is the Constitution an article of faith, so to speak? The NDA, to its credit, has never been found out by the Supreme Court for having murdered the essence of the Constitution. Neither have any of its laws or policies been favorable to one community or people, abusing the very definition of secularism. By that simple test, can we say that the NDA has proved itself to be a better guardian of constitutionalism? That's the fundamental question we are asking. And let's begin first with Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, where do you weigh in on this particular debate?
Well, the fact of the matter is nobody has killed, murdered, annihilated the Constitution more than these hypocrites who are saying they are here to protect the Constitution, and I mean Rahul Gandhi and his acolytes and the Congress. Right from the very first go in 1950, when Nehru amended the so-called First Amendment to our Constitution, curbed and curtailed and stomped upon the free speech, and you would have supporters out here like Nikhil Jain supporting the curbing of the free speech. I bet you go to him and he would support Nehru's First Amendment. He would say it is needed. These guys have even supported Indira's emergency. They've never apologized for it. These guys have even supported the FCRA amendment that allowed conviction of Congress and BJP to be annulled. They would support it. This is the problem out here. And right now, when you have Rahul Gandhi brandishing that so-called red book, I'm sure it's got blank pages inside because he doesn't know how to read, just like many of his supporters. The fact of the matter is, he says brazenly, if he comes to power, he will be the first one to demolish the 50% reservation ceiling that has been appended by the Constitution and Supreme Court. They don't care about the Constitution because 108 and more amendments have been conducted by them. On the other hand, tell me more than one instance where Modi has changed the Constitution. One. Knowingly, on his own. There is not a single example of that. Just one example exists, and that is overturning the SC/ST Act amendment by the Supreme Court, that too with the support of the Congress and all opposition parties. So, talking is easy, but action is the one that defines. And there is no one more fascist and more bigoted than the Congress, who does every waking day demolish our Constitution.
Well, quick response. Let me bring in Nilufar Masood, who is an advocate and the national spokesperson of the National Conference. Nilufar ji, how do you respond to Dr. Ranganathan calling out the hypocrisy of the Congress? Of course, the Congress party today has come out and accused the Modi government of an undeclared emergency, imposing an undeclared emergency on India.
Rahul, first of all, I would like to pay rich tribute to the framers of the Constitution who gave us one of the best constitutions. In fact, the words secular and socialist, it was not there. That is rightly said by you, and it was added by way of 42nd Amendment 1976. But the word secular, as we have read about Article 14, read with Article 15, and then 25 to 28, then Article 51A, which speaks about the equality, which speaks about the religious freedom. Impliedly, it was there, but to clarify the things that our country does not have one religion, that is the reason word secular was added. And with respect to the socialism, it was because of the reason the socialist was added by way of the same, because Article 38, then Article 39, 41, it speaks about the distribution, equal wealth and all that. So impliedly it was there. Just to clarify the things, these words were added by way of the 42nd Constitution. I don't think that it was not there. It has been incorporated, be it emergency or whatever. I would fall in that debate. Why in emergency it was implemented by that Congress government, I would go in that debate. But the thing is, those things which were already embedded in our Constitution, by way of clarifying these things, they have added these two words.
So can I ask you a question, Ms. Masood, please? You said, and let me quote you, that we must congratulate the founders who gave us one of the best constitutions. You said these words, yes, right?
Has been.
Do you know what draft Article 306A was?
Fuzzy.
You read it for me.
I'll tell you what it was. It was adopted into the Indian Constitution. It was a temporary provision that granted special status to Jammu and Kashmir, allowing it to have its own constitution and autonomy over internal matters. That later became Article 370. Now, so viewers, I want to, one second. And it became, one second, now don't let me, now viewers, now they will start not letting me speak. So they said it's a beautiful constitution, but the national, there you go, lower his fader. Viewers, the National Conference spokesperson says we must thank, one second, madam, one second, madam, one second, please. Okay, 1 second, madam, 1 second. Give me 30 seconds. I'm not saying anything which is the untruth. Right. So basically, viewers, she said, the National Conference spokesperson says that we must thank the founders for giving us one of the best constitutions, but the National Conference itself did not want that constitution to apply to it. It wanted a separate constitution of its own. And so they fought tooth and nail for Article 370, that even somebody like Sardar Patel had a problem with, to the point that he had to quit eventually the cabinet of Nehru. इतना खराब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन था मैडम कि आप लोगों को अपना चाहिए था. ये क्या मतलब हुआ? मुझे समझाइए, ये कैसे हो सकता है?
And UCC.
क्यों नहीं हो सकता है? क्यों नहीं हो सकता? It was a princely state. It had its own constitution. तो अगर अपना constitution आ जाता है,
other states were also princely. They were not pauper states. वो भी थोड़े princely states थे. But they adopted the Indian constitution. अच्छा, then tell me, madam, if the constitution is so beautiful, should we have the UCC because it's a directive principle? So I'm asking you, ma'am, Miss Masood, if the constitution is so beautiful, if you believe in it.
295 laws were already implemented.
Okay. Let me ask you, ma'am. If the constitution was so beautiful.
370 was abrogated, we were given to understand that it is connected with the terrorism. And today we are seeing the terrorist attack more dangerous than those which used to happen.
So let me ask you a second question, ma'am, because you're so well read, you're an advocate of the law. Can I ask you a second question? If the constitution was so beautiful, one of its directive principles of state policy say that we should aspire towards a UCC, a uniform civil code. Do you support that beautiful vision?
See, there are different religions in our. It is not one religion based our country. It believes into the unity and diversity.
No, but the constitution said the directive principles, which are aspirational goals and very well founded, they say that a UCC. So let me ask Tausif Khan this question. It's understood, ma'am. I understand your compulsion. Let me ask Tausif Khan, because he's a liberal progressive Muslim and he says very, very clearly to all of us that he is somebody who is well schooled in the law. I'm sure, sir, you would say that it's a beautiful constitution and this constitution should be protected. So one of its directive principles states that we should aspire towards a UCC. Do you support this goal? This directive principle
Rahul,
of state policy.
In the very beginning, you said that today our Prime Minister, and so many other ministers, the cabinet and the president, was reading the preamble of the Constitution, which was not originally there. Now that's first lie that you said. This entire critique of inclusion of secularism, say the word secular and socialist, has been addressed by the landmark judgment of Keshav Nanda Bhapti case, where a constitution bench of 13 judges sat on it and delivered the judgment. It is followed by S.R. Bommai judgment, again in Minerva Mills judgment. So the collective wisdom of all these judges, you are trying to insult through this.
Rahul, he said he goes by one book and that is Constitution.
That's why I was asking him. I was going to come back and say this to him, but look at the answer, viewers, and let me tell you, I even said, you see, viewers, I don't have to agree in letter and spirit, thank goodness, because we're a democracy guaranteed by the Constitution with the Supreme Court. I don't have to be a yes man nodding like this every time the Supreme Court comes out with something. I have a problem with the Supreme Court first coming out and saying that the emergency, let me finish, sir, that the Constitution, that the emergency was unconstitutional, then going ahead and upholding the two changes that were made during an unconstitutional period. I mean, it defies logic.
All this is addressed by the Supreme
Doesn't matter,
Court.
Sir. I'm not convinced. I'm a citizen. Can I not be convinced? Can I not be convinced? Can I not be convinced, sir? Can I not be a... No, can I not be a... Excuse me. Can I not be... Can I not be... Oh, it's not by debate. Sir, then tell me something. When the Supreme Court ruled... Okay, when the Supreme Court ruled on Shah Bano, why did you... No, when the Supreme Court ruled on Shah Bano, when the Supreme Court ruled on several... No, when the Supreme Court... Okay, stop shouting. Sir, can I ask you a question? The Supreme Court ruled... It ruled on watering down criminality of same-sex equations, homosexuality. Do you support that?
I personally do not support that.
You do not support it. See, viewers, they can disagree when they want with the Supreme Court.
Yes.
But Rahul Shivshankar can't.
In Gujarat,
this is democracy.
Alcohol is banned.
My God, viewers. I mean, look at these chaps. Look at these chaps on the debate tonight. They are so blinkered by ideology that they can't even see the contradictions that they land themselves in. On national TV in front of millions of viewers. 1 second. Mr. Siddharth Yadav wants to come in. So they said, viewers, that they love the Indian Constitution. That's the only book they believe in. So I asked them, the Constitution says that the directive principles of state policy, which is a part of the Constitution, says we should all aspire to a UCC, and they have a problem with that.
about the fundamental rights.
aspire to,
You
you
won't
see,
talk about
They have a problem with
equality.
that, viewers.
You talk about-
So they don't
you
believe
talk
in the
about
Constitution. They don't believe in the articles, the letter and the spirit of the Constitution, but they will shout at me. Anyhow, Siddharth Yadav.
Alcohol across the country. Why
Now you know,
alcohol is
viewers, who's
allowed in
upholding the
Maharashtra
Constitution and who's
and
not.
banned in
Rahul.
Gujarat?
Yes, Siddharth Yadav. इतने गरम हो गए.
Rahul, I think on this day today, when we are celebrating the Constitution Day, I think listening to arguments like words secular and socialist were added for more clarification. I think at least today we should have learned panelists who know about the Constitution of our country. What was the Constitution? What secular would you, to oversimplify, what would you explain? What is that you wanted to explain with the secular? The Constitution, the original draft that was made, part 2 of the Constitution, wherein citizenship is explained, there is a picture of a yaj being organized by rishis in a gurukul. When part 3 of the Constitution, which speaks about the fundamental rights, a photo is there which is of Prabhu Shri Ram, Mata Sita and Lakshmanji, Ram Rajya, because you cannot imagine fundamental rights in a country like India without upholding the values of Ram Rajya. In the directive principles of state policy, in the part 4, there is the first picture of Shri Krishna giving Gita Gyan to Arjun in Kurukshetra, because the state is supposed to be held and go ahead by the high values of wisdom which are embodied in Gita. That is our Constitution. But over the years, what you have done is that you have killed that spirit of the Constitution. You have tried to change it with your own fantasies, and that is why today when you speak of the Constitution, it is nothing more than hilarious. You should be asked, what did Nehru do with the first amendment? What did Indira Gandhi do in the emergency period? What happened to 124 and 217? What happened to the superseding the judges of the Supreme Court? Why did you not give NCBC the constitutional status? When the NSE was formed, wherein Sonia Gandhi was given the highest post, it was the biggest disrespect to a constitutional position. Why did not you speak then? But you were the killers of the Constitution. हत्या करी आप लोगों ने संविधान की, और आज संविधान बचाने के लिए निकल जाते हैं. The people who had allianced with Muslim League, who does not believe in Constitution, are speaking for the Constitution. This is hilarious.
Can I ask you, Nikhil Jain,
Constitution was
a
not
simple
applicable
question?
in Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay,
because
can I
of
ask you a
Article
simple
378,
question,
you
Nikhil
were
Jain?
against the abrogation of Article
Okay, let me ask you a simple question. We all love the Constitution. Rahul Gandhi carries a pocket version of it, right? So can I ask you, why is it that the new Congress office is called Indira Bhavan? The person who brought in emergency and pretty much sacked the Constitution.
Rahul Gandhi, I'm sorry. Rahul, can I please first respond to the things that have been said in the debate?
Okay. Why is it called the Indira Bhavan, sir?
I have been noting.
Why is it called the Indira Bhavan? Why shouldn't it have been called something else, like Sardar Patel Bhavan?
I've been noting down points to respond to. There are 2 minutes left in the debate. You throw me with this question. First you say,
Anyhow, I want to ask you, why has it been called the Indira Bhavan?
Can I please respond?
I'm asking you, sir.
There's no point if I'm here to only answer your rapid fires. Can I just respond to the topic that is being discussed?
I'm asking you, it's very,
we're talking about the Constitution.
It is very intrinsically linked. Why would you honor somebody? Why would you honor somebody who sacked?
Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India that was much revered, and she may have been the one who imposed the emergency, and she's received a fair degree of flack.
You have to prove it.
We are not
Dr. Ranganathan, you'll have to bring out the Britannica to prove it again that she actually did
This is
sack.
not the way to carry out a debate. Rahul, this is not the way to carry out a debate. Every time I speak, Dr. Ranganathan interjects. The moment I make a remark against him, he feels so bad about it. You feel so bad about it. How is this fair? How is this fair? You do not allow me to speak till the very last minute of the debate, and the moment I start speaking, both of you jump on and start interjecting. Can I please respond to the points?
So I asked you a question. That's the question I asked you. Because it's intrinsically linked. Why would you pay homage to a person who desecrated the Constitution by naming your office after Indira Bhavan?
Will you let me respond without interjections, or should I quit? Can I please speak without interjections? Indira Gandhi did impose the emergency. She's received a lot of flack for it. The Congress party has apologized for it, but at the same time, no, the Congress party has, and Dr. Ranganathan, I was not countering, I was not interjecting when you were speaking.
Never apologize.
This is not done, Rahul.
You will not let me speak
What
for
has
10
happened
seconds.
to you,
This is the
sir?
way you want to carry out the CEO. I'm going to quit the debate. This
Who
is
has,
absolutely nonsense.
And
will you allow me to speak a single sentence without interjections? Will you allow me to speak a single sentence without interjections? You've been spreading falsehoods here.
Okay,
You
okay,
said
let him
Sardar Patel
finish.
had
Let
to
him
quit
finish.
Nehru.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Okay, let him finish. Yes, yes. Okay.
You said that Sardar Patel had to quit Nehru's cabinet. That's an absolute lie. He quit Nehru's cabinet only after he passed away on the 15th of December 1949, right? 1950. That's an absolute lie that
Oh my
Sardar Patel
God.
quit Nehru's cabinet. No, you can't do an oh my God. Your viewers are
Okay,
free to
viewers,
go
I'm just done with
Google,
this
read
person.
history
Let's
books.
move on.
You are
Let's move
talking
on
about
because there is a
princely
very
states and
important
comparing it with
issue. It's the
pauper states. You're
pollution
not
issue.
understanding that there was
And I
one-
really want to move on to it. There's no point, viewers, because if people are going to rewrite history as we speak and basically engage in all sorts of silliness, then what is there to discuss, viewers? Let's move on. The Chief Justice of India has given up, viewers, yes. In a lament that reeks of helplessness, he's posted on X that he's giving up his morning walk because the pollution is choking him. If Delhi's air emergency has paralyzed, in a manner of speaking, the Chief Justice of India, then what hope is there for the rest of us? One parent has posted a heartbreaking video of herself in a hospital, cradling her child who has had to be hospitalized. Perhaps that's going to be our collective fate. Illness. Experts say the problem is compounded because the Delhi government under the BJP is now taking to bury the problem. It is according to Vimlendu Jha fiddling the meters, and Vimlendu Jha is one of those who moved the Supreme Court in pursuance of a better policy to control pollution. Now he's shot a video, viewers, and you can see those images from that video from one of Delhi's most polluted spots, viewers. And he's come out and said that he believes that the meters, the AQI meters that have been installed in that space in the Anand Vihar metro station, which is one of the most polluted areas of the capital, they are in spots where water is sprinkled, there's a smog tower, and there's enough greenery there so that the readings are not as severe. And that he believes that there is an attempt to try and underplay the severity of the problem. The facts have to be independently ascertained by your channel, but it is being widely commented that AQI readings are underreported. True or not, the more pressing question is, aside from lamenting what can be done and who is accountable, and is pollution the rite of passage in a fast developing economy, that democracies like India simply cannot control pollution the way China did. Yes, China can shut down factories, seal highways, or relocate entire industries. No debate, no dissent, no elections to win. India cannot and should not function that way. But that's not why we are failing. Experts say India's problem is disorganization and not democracy. Our institutions overlap. Our agencies work in silos. States blame each other. And every winter we repeat the same cycle of outrage, inaction, and amnesia. India needs alignment, accountability, and political will, viewers. There are several graphics which we will put on the side of your screens. You can go through them, viewers, which will tell you perhaps why India is failing. So let's open this up, and I want to ask Vimlendu Jha. Vimlendu Jha, look, we can protest, we can lament, the Chief Justice doesn't have to go out for a walk, etc., etc. First of all, what can the Chief Justice do? Can he be a little more assertive? Could he pass some strictures? Is he also sitting on his hands? And of course, where are we mucking up? Is this a problem that is unavoidable in developing economies, and you have to go through a certain period?
So Rahul, of course, it's not the Supreme Court's responsibility to govern our air. Governance is ideally not in the realm of the courts of our country. Unfortunately, we've gotten into the habit of depending on the Supreme Court, and rightly so, because that's the only thing that actually has been saving India's environment in the last several decades. If you look at CNG revolution or many other moves with regard to air pollution or otherwise. Right now, when the Chief Justice, actually, what can they do? The fact that they don't even know what AQI means, the predecessor Chief Justice, the previous Chief Justice didn't even know what AQI meant or what GRAP meant in that sense. So there's very little expectation that I have sometimes of the judiciary. I have a lot of hope and expectation from our political class of different governments, irrespective of their political color or political party that they belong to. And by the way, it's not about ascertaining what the air quality is. As in, I was there this morning, those videos that I posted, I have the videos of the air quality monitors that has the time and the date stamp of the Delhi government, DPCC, CAQM's own monitors, and there was the evidence. Of course, it wasn't, it's for anyone to go and see that there's a smog tower just 20 meters from there. There's water sprinkling that is going on there next to the air quality monitors. The air quality monitors are actually kept under a tree. There are smog guns that you can actually see in the video that you're actually showing. So when you have that, and unfortunately, Rahul, one more thing that has happened, by the way, in the evening, CAQM is saying that Delhi's air has improved and therefore there's no restriction that is needed, and it has downgraded the restrictions. Anyway, I'm not a believer of restrictions because those are band-aid solutions. GRAP is not called governance. Just shutting down a city is not a permanent solution in that sense.
Yeah,
so it's very, very unfortunate, Rahul, that we actually have to really fudge data. The government has...
Okay, that's an allegation that you're making. That's an allegation that you're making. It might be subjective entirely. Well, it's an allegation, obviously. I mean, look, you've been there, you're claiming certain things. That's okay. Right now, we have to, as I said very clearly, that one has to independently verify. I'm not against you. We all respect the fact that something needs to be done.
No, but the government monitors are also showing 400, by the way.
Okay. So, one second. I just want to say something which is important. What do we do from here? Who do we hold accountable? Because the government says, look, there is parali being burnt around us and people have to sort of get to it. There are others who say that citizenry needs to be a little more also responsible. I mean, everyone has to come together clearly.
Absolutely, no doubt everyone has to come this thing, but we can't find private solution to public problems.
Okay.
This is not where you and I change our lifestyle. You and I can't buy a bus. You and I can't go and stop the parali burning that is happening. You and I can't go and install smog towers every square kilometer of Delhi with 1,500 square kilometers.
Point taken.
You and I can't go and do cloud seeding. So therefore,
let me point you viewers to these visuals.
Is important.
Look at these visuals. This is of a young couple that have taken their child to a hospital for surgery because the pollution triggered health issues, Dr. Ranganathan. This is becoming a very, very, very critical situation for Delhiites. I mean, my eyes are burning.
Yeah. No, you're right, and my good friend Vimlendu is also right. But, just this morning at the airport, I was accosted by someone, and rather brazenly he was talking about the pollution coming from Bangalore and, how wonderful Bangalore is right now and how terrible Delhi is. And he was quite brazen about it. He said, look, I'm an AAP and a Congress supporter. And for 10 years, it's been nearly the same. But I'm never going to blame Punjab for the parali burning. I'm going to actually say that the pollution right now in Delhi is because of the transport. Maine kaha, how can you do that? Of course, there is some share of transport, but there is, of course, parali burning happening in Punjab, which is basically going on for the last month and a half. Do you not blame the pollution for that? He said, no, I'm not going to do it. So when you have a political interference, you have agenda being set by people who are supposed to take care of the air, what can you do? And here it is doubly tragic for the Chief Justice of India to say, I've raised my hands, because Vimlendu is right. 3 years ago, the Supreme Court said, even if there is one case of farm fire, arrest the administrators of both Punjab and Haryana. The very next day, there were 6,000 farm fires. No one was arrested. So when you can get away with anything you want, of course this is bound to happen. But the fact of the matter is, it is indeed an inexact science. You have every day changing from 5% to 15% the share of this sector pollution, that parali burning, transport. It is an inexact, mostly non-peer reviewed science. In this, you can only change the things you can see. And what you can see are two things. Number one, farm fires, stop it. And dust pollution, stop it in Delhi. If these two things you can broadly measure out, the vehicular pollution, which of course is a problem, but of course we have now through CNG, through EV, you can bring in a lot of changes.
The point is that those has to be lifted. You see, the point is, viewers, we can bring in. That is where we stop. We can bring in. Of course we can bring in, but we don't. And we have to start asking our governments. You have to make it an election issue the next time you go out and vote in Delhi. You have to ask the governments, ask the political parties to put this issue as the number one on their manifestos. Currently, just go and see all the political parties in Delhi put this issue on their 45th, 42nd, 43rd pages, viewers. It is not a priority because it's not a priority for you. That's the problem. The day it becomes, it'll be front page. I leave it at that. Palki Sharma with the Vantage.
This is
And we are getting some important piece of breaking news from the cricketing field, where this is the match between India and South Africa. This is the second test, and India unfortunately has lost by a whopping 408 runs. My colleague Shivani Gupta with more on this. Shivani, a heartbreaking attempt at in fact taking on South Africa. 408 runs is the margin that we are talking about as far as India's losing is concerned.
Yes, this is the heaviest defeat for India in a test match in terms of runs, and certainly ignominy that has been piled on the Indian team by the visitors, the South African team. They have not just won, mind you, this two-match series 2-0, but they've also won it very, very comprehensively. India was not a contest in this test series at all. Yes, a lot of the attention went on the pitch and the spin conditions in the first match, but here as well, even if the pitch was not as quote-unquote problematic, India couldn't really stand up to the South African bowlers, and a lot of questions will be asked on not just the quality of the Indian batting lineup, but what is going on as far as the dressing room is concerned, the team selection to begin with, and just the vision that the team should have, particularly for a series at home, because for a very long time we have been nearly unbeatable at home. But South Africa is one of those teams that has managed to beat India twice in the last 25 years at home. So something was certainly not very right as far as this test series is concerned. Yes, there was that injury to Shubman Gill in the first match that could have been the difference between a win and a loss. But you cannot really depend